Welcome to the commentary booth where we watch, you guessed it, commentate on the week that was in movies. I'm your host and play-by-play commentator Jamie Apps, and each week I'll be joined by a rotating cast of co-hosts to help you find your next viewing treat. This week I'm joined by a DJ who lists his favourite movie as The Gentleman, a favourite TV show as Parks and Rec. Welcome back to the show, Jaxon Carr.
Mate, good to see you. How are you today?
Yeah, not too bad. I'm not enjoying this weather, but I'm sure you definitely are. Much more Jackson temperature.
Oh yeah, especially I DJed at a wedding last night, or yes afternoon last night. It's a wedding, so you got to dress up. And the thing I hate the most is wearing long pants and shirts when it's hot. It was perfect weather for it, so I was stoked. I haven't even a hoodie today. This is great. I'm enjoying it while it lasts.
Yeah, hoodie weather in early December. That's very rare.
Yeah, it's like we're in the Northern Hemisphere or something, but I'll take it.
Yeah, it feels like much more like the traditional Christmas that you would expect time, but we'll see how long it lasts.
That we see in all the movies and stuff. Yeah, it'll probably be back to hot weather in a couple of days. So
you watch, it'll rain all the way up until Christmas, and then Christmas Day will just be like a stinking hot day just for the fun of it when you don't want to be hot.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. Oh God, I can just see it now. Especially, I remember last Christmas, I was tracking how many drinks I was having for TikTok, and it was quite a hot day, so they went to my head quite quickly. So that was fun, but yeah, wild. Come on, it's been a year already since Christmas. Oh, last Christmas. Oh,
Yeah,
oh wow.
very weird, fast year.
Yeah, definitely.
I saw this week you hit a PB on the half marathon.
Yeah, so I did it at a Christmas party, a corporate Christmas party on Friday night. They're feeding me drinks and beers and food. And I just woke up and decided to go for a run, and I ran a half marathon in like 4 minutes 36 a kilometer hungover, which is ridiculous. So I was talking to my friend, and he's like, "You'd be a really good runner if you didn't drink and you focused." And I was like, "Oh yeah, maybe like next year I can," because I'm doing a marathon. I might see how I go in like 2 months sober, but you know, fun. As we've discussed, I finally got this balance between running and drinking, and now I can set PBs for 21K. So it's all happening.
And that is too far to run. You should only be running that far if you're getting chased.
Yeah, I was chasing, getting rid of my hangover. I was getting rid of I was sweating all the alcohol out. So yeah, I was chasing a cure. So yeah, perfect.
I suppose you have seen, like with Dry July, like when you do commit to not drinking and just running, you do pretty well.
Yeah, like that really set me up for the year. But now I was looking at, since July 1st, I've run 890 kilometers for the year, or like for the 6 months. So my goal is to get to 1,000 on Christmas Day. So I've planned out the next whatever days it is. And then on Christmas Day, I'm just going to do 5Ks, and I'm going to hit 1,000Ks for the year. And then that's done. And then next year, I want to try to do like 2,000 in 12 months. So some serious running goals, which is good.
That is a lot of. Let me just fix these.
Yeah.
I just realized I was on my interview settings and not my podcast settings, so I need to just fix these up quickly.
Yeah, you're interviewing me about my running, you know?
Yeah, see, I'm just all over the shop in the lead up to Christmas, been super busy, like just knocking out all of the content so I can take a break over Christmas. So it's been very full on.
Yeah, of course.
Outside of that, outside of that though, we have managed to watch a few things. I think probably the big one is the new Marvel TV series on Disney Plus, Hawkeye. What have you been thinking of that so far?
Like, I like what they're sorry, I like what they're doing with it around being around Christmas, and like, I don't know. It's I don't know. I like it, but I think most Marvel shows I've watched, all the Marvel shows, a bit of a slow burner. Like I'm just waiting, like you're just waiting for it all to happen towards the end. So persevered with the first few episodes. I like how the characters building. I like how they've got Christmas themes with it, but I don't know. I'm just kind of waiting, you know?
Yeah, especially this one where it feels more like it's an extended like 6-hour movie rather than like WandaVision had
Yeah.
episodes where they felt like, hey, this is just the episode for the week, and there was like themes in each episode, whereas this is obviously just a 6-hour movie essentially split into 6
Yeah.
parts. So it
Yeah,
does feel
definitely,
slow at the
definitely nailed
beginning.
it. Yeah, so I don't know, like I like it. And it's good that there's another Marvel show on Disney Plus, but I think I'm just watching it for the sake of watching it, really.
That and like Hawkeye isn't particularly like the most compelling character out of everyone
Yeah,
until
not at
like
all.
he's in the middle of an action scene like we saw in episode 3 with the car chase. Like until he sort of can actually whip out the bow and arrow, he's kind of just a dude.
Yeah, definitely. And I think that's like I never really got into Arrow, the show, because the bow and arrows is a bit like it's not. Yeah, it's not the most compelling character, and it's like I'm kind of like, and the actor doesn't inspire me that much as well. Like I don't think he's that good as an actor, and I don't know, just haven't really got into that character. But not complaining. It's a Marvel show. It gives me something to do for an hour each week.
What are you thinking of Kate Bishop, played by Haley Steinfeld?
I think she's really attractive. But yeah, I think she's doing she's really leading the show. Actually, to be honest, I think she's really good and a really good, strong lead. I'm really enjoying her personally.
Yeah, I think she's probably the big highlight of the show, and I feel like that's kind of the point of this show. It's spoiler, she later becomes Hawkeye. So I feel like this is just another case of Disney leaning into using the TV shows to set up a young Avengers, like the next wave of Avengers once all these contracts come up.
Yeah, that's that actually. Well, I didn't actually think about it like that, but yeah, that's 100%. And it's good that they've got this platform that they can do that, and then they can keep their fans watching and engaged in their content while they're working on these new movies. And yeah, wow, oh wow, Jamie.
Yeah, well, like we're getting the new Hawkeye set up in this one. We had the new Captain America set up in um, not Falcon and Winter Soldier. Falcon and yeah, it was Falcon and Winter Soldier. That was the show, wasn't it?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. So we had the new Captain America set up in that. WandaVision set up her kids to come in and sort of take over her role. So like, I feel that that's the direction they're going. They're using these shows as a way to build the young Avengers, and then they can come out with a movie in maybe like phase 5 or 6 that is, here's the young Avengers. And it's not going to feel like,
yeah.
who are these people? Why are we all of a sudden got brand new Avengers? Like they've actually got a purpose and a backstory
Yeah,
built in already into the movie.
yeah, of course. Hey, wow. Wow. All right. I honestly, I didn't think about it like that, but that's bang on. And yeah, wow. Okay.
And like we were saying, like it does feel like a movie, and I feel like that is kind of a product of where this story originally started. It was meant to be a movie. It was in Jeremy Renner's contract as a movie, and then once sort of Disney Plus became a thing, and they realized, hey, we can sort of expand on some of these stories and go into them a bit more deeply. They restructured his contract and made it into the 6-episode TV series. So obviously, it would have been a much more condensed story if it had been a movie, but I think the series gives it a better chance to establish Kate Bishop.
Yeah, and get people familiar with her. And obviously, with these Avengers, they've had what, a decade of the characters developing in the movies, coming in and out, and now they've got like a 6-hour block for Kate to become big and us to get familiar with her. So yeah, it's a good way of spinning out their content and getting us familiar with the new wave.
And I'm loving like you mentioned, the Christmas theming and music and everything. Like it feels really fitting for the time this is coming out. It would have been weird if they'd put this out any other time of year.
Yeah, and it's good. I've finally started watching some Christmas stuff this year because it's December now. Because I watching. This was the first thing I've watched Christmas-wise, besides something else that we discussed. But yes, yeah, it's good. Good timing for it. especially with this cold weather. We're getting used to it.
Yep. Some of the CGI feels a little bit clunky, and I think that's probably just because of being a TV show. They obviously wouldn't have the same budget as if this was a Hawkeye movie. So, like, particularly in that sort of car chase scene, like the scenes where they did the panning shot of the cars driving through the city, I was like, oh yeah, that's pretty obviously CG and not just they didn't shut down New York to drive race cars through the middle of the city for a TV show.
Yeah, of course.
And I was reading that the bad guy in this series, Echo, is getting a spin-off as well. So that'll be interesting to see how that goes. Whether it's a movie or a series, I'm pretty sure they said it's a spin-off series, so that'll be some point down the line on Disney.
I like when Marvel do those spin-offs. Like with the Punisher came out as a spin-off series as well, and he was really good because he was the bad guy and you get to know him. So I'm excited to see what actually Disney do with this, because obviously Punisher was a Netflix thing, but yeah.
Especially with these sort of lesser known characters, like I don't think they could put out a Hawkeye movie and it do Avengers numbers or Spider-Man or like Captain America numbers. But I think a series on Echo and a series on Hawkeye, and I think they are the perfect sort of setting for these characters.
Yeah, definitely.
And Echo is the second deaf character in the MCU, and the first one being someone that you would have seen in the Eternals movie, Makari.
Movie, right? That movie. Sorry. Oh.
And the thing I liked about it is there's the two deaf characters in the MCU, and they're both played by deaf actors. So they actually got deaf actors in to play these roles rather than just, here's a celebrity, let's put them in it.
Yeah, that's good. I didn't know that. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of like production companies are actually doing that now. Like they've realized that to get a proper portrayal of a deaf person, you need to actually just hire someone that's deaf.
Hmm.
And because of that, Haley Steinfeld and Jeremy Renner both learned sign language to welcome the actor Alakwa Cox onto set, just to basically so they could say hello and do the basic sort of greetings and stuff on set. So that was really cool of them to do that. And Haley Steinfeld also learned archery because she felt that with Kate Bishop's story being a self-trained archer, being such a core to her character, she wanted to be able to actually do all the scenes herself. So she learned archery just for this show, which is pretty cool. And it's Haley's second appearance in a Marvel product. Do you know what her first appearance was? The movie you loved.
Really?
Mm-hmm. You probably won't get it, though.
I'm drawing. Nah, go hit me. Hit me.
Animated.
Oh, Spider-Man.
Yep.
Sorry, just that. Oh, really? Oh, I love that movie.
She's a Spider-Gwen, Gwen Stacy in Into the Spider-Verse.
Oh.
So she's like one of those rare Marvel actors that is in there twice.
Yeah, wow. It's like
the MCU has everyone in it, but she's one of the special ones that's, hey, I'm in there twice.
Yeah, that was like the guy that played Thanos was also in the bad guy in Deadpool too, and they both came out at the same time. So he's another one of that had both, that actor.
Yeah, like it's very rare that they use someone twice, but cool. I like it. Now that it feels like every actor and celebrity has been in the MCU at some point. I'm just waiting for Leonardo DiCaprio or Tom Cruise or someone like that to just suddenly pop up in a weird secondary role. Like, okay. Although Leo feels like the sort of person
that just appear. They'll be uncredited.
Yeah, Leo feels like the sort of person that would just like avoid it, though. He seems very selective about the properties that he movies that he does.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we mentioned Eternals. You went and saw that one. You went to the cinema to watch that, didn't you?
Mate, I went to the cinema. It was the first time I went to the cinema since earlier this year, was it? Yeah, since earlier this year. I was really excited. Go see a Marvel movie. It was horrible.
Not a great experience.
No, the only good thing about it was my best friend, his partner works for a company that gets movie tickets. So it only cost me $2. So it wasn't even worth the $2. I absolutely hated it.
I'm glad I'm waiting for it to hit Disney Plus then.
Yeah.
Which I'm pretty sure is actually supposed to be soon. I wrote something down about that. Yeah, it's due on Disney Plus. Due on Disney Plus on January 12th, which is in line with the 45-day minimum theatrical release that Disney has been doing with their movies.
Yeah, okay. Well, maybe give it a month after that and maybe it'll be good. Like, I really did not like it. It was not for me. I liked what they were trying to do with the actors and the characters, but it was just disjointed and it just wasn't a good watch at all. Like, I just did not like it one bit.
Was the cinematography nice? Like, I know the director has done some really cool visual movies, so it looked very different in the trailer.
Yeah, okay. When I said I didn't like it one bit, the cinematography was one bit that I did like. Like, it was very nice. And yeah, that was quite spectacular, but that was the redeeming part of it, I guess.
Yep. It's a nice, pretty movie to look at, but not really one that you want to pay attention to the story.
Yeah, spot on. Spot on.
Yeah, see, that's the problem with the MCU too. Like, now that that's kind of been a dud movie, it's still going to play into the story moving forward. So it's like, now what are we going to do? Like, we can't just forget about it and move on. Like, the way all these movies are so tightly woven together, it has to play in at some point. You can't just forget it.
Plus, with the after credit scenes, they're already teeing something else up for it. So, like, there's going to be a sequel. But you know how they always bring in new actors or new characters at the end of the scenes? One of the actor, he's not even an actor. He's going to be an actor. But the human being, the celebrity that they brought in the ending, I was like, wow, which was cool. And I'm excited to see this singer being an actor. But it was, that it's going to happen. And then there was the final after credit scene and something happened. I'm like, okay, they're teeing something else up. But I think they're going to move this into the Guardians of the Galaxy type world. So that's where it's going. And that makes sense because it was in space and whatnot. So yeah, that's where it's going, I believe.
The more spacey stuff. Interesting. I'm intrigued by who this actor is. Actor is now.
They were hyping. I don't know if you see online, they were hyping him up. It's a singer, but he's a beautiful man. That's all I'm going to say.
Yep, I'm still intrigued. I somehow have avoided all spoilers of Eternals. I don't know how I've done that, but I'll take it. At least in January, I'll have something.
Yeah.
I'll just fast forward through the whole movie and just watch the post credits. Is that what you're telling me to do?
Yeah, 100%. Just do it. Like, but the weird thing was they were hyping him up. Like, I saw them hyping him up throughout the promotion for it, and then he just appears at the end. And then when he appears, he's going to go Guardians of the Galaxy, and he'll be great. So yeah, wait for that. Just watch that, and that's worth it. Just fast forward through the whole thing, look at some cinematography, and then see this man. And you'll see. Okay, that makes sense.
I kind of hate when they do that in the promo though. Like, if he's a post-credit scene, don't tell me. Don't hype it up, because I'm just going to sit through the whole movie expecting to see this person pop up at some point. And then when they don't, be like, oh, where was that person? And then it's in the post-credit. Kind of spoils the post-credit just in their marketing. Silly.
And
Just keep it a
Yeah,
full-on
exactly.
secret.
Yeah,
Don't let anyone know.
Yeah, it's dumb, but yeah, exactly. But I guess, yeah. Anyway.
And now, a quick word from our sponsors. First up is Maison de Femmes. They are an online jewelry boutique dedicated to the lovers, mystics, and dreamers. They sell exquisite gold-filled jewelry that can be worn as everyday basics or stunning statement pieces. With Christmas fast approaching, a Maison de Femmes piece may be just the thing for that special someone in your life. Check them out at maisondefemme.com. If you want a night filled with crazy stories and a ton of laughs, then Sam Wade's upcoming Sydney Comedy Festival show Mind Cave is not to be missed. Check it out at the Factory Theatre from November 4 and November 6th. And finally, if you're in need of a new logo, event poster, Twitch overlays or emotes, or any type of merchandise designs, then look no further than LF9 Design for all of your graphic design needs. The team at LF9 Design can create anything you need to suit all styles and budgets. Check them out on Instagram at LF9 Design. And you watched another movie on Netflix that I'm hoping you enjoyed much more, because I really enjoyed this movie.
I absolutely loved it. I absolutely love this movie. This is one of the best movies I've seen come out on Netflix in a long, like all year. I was quite skeptical at first. Red Notice, I was quite skeptical at first, but it was just phenomenal. I really, 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 really enjoyed it. It was just perfect, like The Rock, Ryan Reynolds, and whatever the lady's name is, Gal Gadot, who's beautiful, Gal Gadot, beautiful woman, and yeah, just brilliant storytelling, like a thief and a cop, and then how it all went, and there was really good chemistry between The Rock and Ryan, which I didn't really think, and then yeah, I just absolutely, I could watch it again, absolutely loved it.
Yeah, like that's three huge names, and The Rock has obviously got pretty good comedy chops, so I sort of expect those two to mesh pretty well. And then the only criticism I sort of had is they're all just playing the characters they became famous for.
Yeah, I was talking to someone about that, and then they were like, "Does you reckon like Ryan has comedic license because he seems like the same across all his movies?" And I'm like, "That's why you like him. That's why you get to know him, and because he's very similar with what he does." But yeah, I get that.
Yeah, like The Rock is just playing the standard action hero Rock that's in every movie. Gal Gadot is just Wonder Woman without superpowers. And then Ryan Reynolds is just Deadpool in everything now. Like, as soon as Deadpool hit, I was like, oh, that's where if we need someone to make smart, stupid comments, Ryan Reynolds is your man. That's all he does now.
Yeah. But it works. It really works. And for such a blockbuster and all, like the advertising, I saw like out of home advertising for it. I saw heaps of advertising. I'm like, oh, maybe this won't be that good because they're pushing it. But like, I was just straight from the get-go. I was like, this is great. I really got into it. I've spoken to a few people about it, and not one person said that didn't enjoy it. So yeah, thoroughly enjoyed it.
Blake didn't enjoy it, but I think that's just because he despises Ryan Reynolds for some weird reason.
Right, okay, sorry. That makes sense that Blake doesn't get it. He also started watching the Home Alone movies at the wrong movie. So I don't really listen to his film opinions sometimes, so that's fair enough.
My other criticism with Red Notice was probably the length as well. Did you feel like there was a couple of sort of mini missions in the movie in the middle that we probably could have done without?
I mean, yeah, in hindsight, yeah, but I was really enjoying it. So it wasn't like oh, hurry up and end. I was just like, they could have got rid of it, but I liked that it was in there just because it was enjoyable. But yeah, they could have.
Yeah, like I enjoyed it, but then when I got to the end, I was like, yeah, we probably could have cut out one or two of those sort of red herring moments in the middle where it was like, we're going to finally get it, and then it's not there. So we're just going to go to the next thing. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Looking back,
Yeah,
probably could have done without them, but at the time, really enjoyable and super funny.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely.
And speaking of sort of funny movies and very timely movies, I checked out the new South Park Paramount Plus exclusive movie, South Park Post-COVID.
Oh, my friend was telling me about that.
It is very, very funny.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so it's the first in a series of Paramount Plus exclusives from the producers of South Park as part of their $900 million deal. Yeah, they got paid $900 million to extend South Park to 30 seasons, all the way through until 2027, and produce 14 exclusive Paramount Plus feature films.
Is that American or Australian dollars?
That's American.
I feel sick.
Yeah, that's a lot of money to make some cartoons.
Can I do another basketball movie while they're at it, please?
Probably not now. Not producing all of this South Park. Like, they've got to produce 14 movies, and they've only done one so far, and 2 of them are due this year. So they've still got another one to put out in the next 3 weeks.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that'll be interesting to see how they go. And
wow.
I get why they were paid so much, because these movies and shows are not easy to produce. It's not like they can, the way the stories are told, it's not like they can produce a whole season well in advance. Like they're known for their 6-day turnarounds on shows so that they're super relevant and timely. And this one, Post-COVID, is set in the year 2061, 40 years after the events of their last movie-length special, South Park Vaccination Special. And so because it's set in 2061, they're not kids anymore. Stan, Kyle, Kenny, Cartman are all adult grown-ups, and they've all changed quite substantially. And it's about sort of following what happened to the kids that grew up during the COVID pandemic. So we find out that Stan has moved out of South Park and is now an online whiskey consultant. Sounds like the Jaxon dream job. Kyle is now the school guidance counselor. And Kenny has become a famous physicist who later dies of a brand new COVID variant. And then that's sort of where the story snowballs. And the fact that they were talking about a COVID variant like a week before the Omicron hit, I was like, whoa, this is really creepy. Looking back on it now, I'm like, that's kind of creepy.
Style stuff.
Yeah. Like, I get they were probably referencing like the Delta variant at the time, but then Omicron hit and I was like, oh, yep, cool. Even weirder. And then probably the biggest change to all of the 4 kids is Cartman, who is now a rabbi with 3 kids and a wife. A very big change for someone that like used to constantly give Kyle crap about being Jewish.
Yeah. I was just going to say, wasn't he anti-Semitic? And now he's, okay, wow.
Yeah, so that was funny. We also find out that Tweak and Craig are still together and now married. Wendy is married to some random dude that was not from South Park. Jimmy has grown up to become a late-night talk show host, sort of Jay Leno, Conan O'Brien style. But all of his jokes are like super PC and just like, they start off, you think they're going to be these really off-brand humor, and then it's just like super PC punchline. You're like, oh, okay. So that was interesting to watch. Oh. Token has grown up to become the cop of the town. Clyde is an anti-vaxxer. No real surprise there. and Scott Malkinson has become the priest who basically nobody remembers. And then there's a big spoiler. So Butters, who I think has sort of grown on people as become a big favorite. We don't find out where he is until the very end. Turns out he's in a mental asylum. They keep calling him Victor Chaos, and then it's revealed at the end that Chaos is just a mispronunciation of chaos. So he's just in there as Victor Chaos, which is pretty cool. So I'm assuming that's where the second movie that is due this year is going to sort of lead on, and him getting out of the mental asylum and just going crazy.
Okay.
And yeah, like I said, again, it's like one of those ridiculously timely movies. The new Delta variants and COVID variants and whatever, and then we also get some references to the Blade Runner 2049, The Godfather, Beverly Hills Cop. They also talk about Space Jam: A New Legacy. Just kind of crapping on that one, so that was pretty funny. And then they even take a little bit of a pot shot at Green Bay Packers quarterback Aaron Rodgers when they ask Clyde if he's been vaccinated, and he just answers, "I'm immunized," which was the answer that Aaron Rodgers gave when people were asking him if he was immunized, vaccinated against COVID. So that was funny. That made me giggle. And I was watching it, and my mum was in the other room just going, "Why are you still watching this crap? You are 32 years old and you're still watching this bloody stupid cartoon." I was like, "It's funny. It's hilarious. I'm loving it." So yeah, worth getting Paramount Plus just for all of the South Park stuff coming up, I think.
Yeah, I think I was talking to my friend Will about it. He's like, "We've got to watch this."
Yeah, between South Park, the new Dexter, I'm actually quite enjoying Paramount Plus now. It's finally sort of getting there. I've heard the A-League coverage is a bit spotty at times, but I'm not really watching the A-League, so not a big issue for me.
I didn't even realize the A-League had started until this morning when I was scrolling on Fox Sports. So
yeah, started 2-3 weeks ago. Like, I like that there's all the new teams, but I still feel like the Wollongong Wolves should have been one of those new teams.
Don't worry, you've got the NBL has started again. Go the Hawks. I just have a ball jersey. I don't go for them, but
fair enough. And then the last thing I watched is Cowboy Bebop, the live action take on it that's now on Netflix. Have you sort of seen that promoted or watched any of it?
Yeah, I started the first 5 minutes and then turned it off. I think I was like hungover or like I had a big weekend and I just couldn't pay attention, so I just turned it off after. Yeah. I watched 5 minutes. I like the actor, the actors in it, but yeah.
Yeah, it definitely needs a bit of attention. That's it. It's based on the Japanese anime of the same name. They've produced 10 episodes in live action form, starring John Cho, Mustafa Shakir, and Daniela Pineda. And so I finished it yesterday or the day before, and yeah, really enjoyed sort of the series, especially as someone that hadn't watched the anime. Like, I'd heard a lot of positive talk and about the anime and praise for the anime, so watching the live action, but then the live action has kind of been crapped on by fans of the anime, but as someone that had never seen it, I thought this was a great introduction to Cowboy Bebop as a series, which is basically just about a group of 3 bounty hunters who all have sort of different past lives, and they chase down criminals throughout the galaxy on their spaceship called the Bebop. And yeah, for me, it was really cool, like super stylized. I really enjoyed the visual style of it. It sort of captures a very anime aesthetic, so that was cool. And And the action sequences are pretty crazy. Lots of sort of a mixture of like kung fu, gunplay, stuff like that. So, and the acting performances are awesome. So, like I said, I think it's a great introduction to the series for someone that hasn't watched the anime. But yeah, obviously, if you've watched the anime, it might fall a little bit short.
Yeah. Well, I've had a pretty decent weekend. I haven't really done a lot of drinking, so I might watch it today. It's bad weather. I have concentration span. I think I'll give it another go. Cause yeah, literally, I tried. I was like, oh, it's too much. I can't do this. I need to go watch TikTok. So that's 15 seconds better attention span at the moment. But today I'm feeling fresh and good, so let's go.
Bloody TikTok! See what you've turned me into. I was like, oh, I have a ring light. I can do that challenge. And then I spent like 40 minutes trying to get it right. Thanks for that.
All right. Just do
Such
running
a hassle.
TikTok. That's the vibe.
Yeah. No, I don't run. No, I don't run.
Recognized twice yesterday from TikTok. Like,
wow.
And I don't even have a lot of followers. I have like 4,000 followers, which is heaps, which is amazing. But compared to like massive accounts, running, one guy recognized me. I was in the Central Coast, coming back from his wedding, having a beer at a pub. This guy recognized me, wanted a photo with me. I was like, what is going on? So like, weird. Nice. It's weird. Like usually I get recognized sometimes when I'm DJing, but this, like when I was running, guys like, oh, I know you from TikTok. The other guy like, can I get a photo? I was like, oh, yeah, cool.
Okay, what the heck? Weird. Yeah, 4,000, like in comparison to some of the ones that I've seen that are like 500,000 and ridiculous amounts. Yeah. Where it just drops the whole number at just 50K. You know, okay. As soon as you get over that 10,000, it just goes like you just get a K now. You don't get a number.
Yeah. It's ridiculous.
Insane. So, well done on that front. And have you sort of checked anything else out before we close out the show?
Yeah. So remember at the start of the year, we were like, we're going to be big readers. I'm going to read 12 books this year.
Yeah, no, that didn't happen.
No, I think I read about 4 or 5 different books. Yeah, no, I've read one from front to back cover. The That's What I Reckon book. It's over here. That's the first book I read, and I was like, this is great. I did it from front to back. I thought it was amazing. Great book. But I'm going to try to end the year with a bang. So I bought this book called Growing Up Aboriginal in Australia, and it's tales of well-known authors or upcoming writers, and it's just about their childhood growing up and what their family went through. So it's quite intense, to be honest, but I'm only reading it and I feel so emotional. I couldn't imagine what some people went through, but yeah, there's been a lot of tears in it since I've been reading it, and it's good because I can just read a story that might be like 3 pages or 5 pages or 10 pages, and then I'll just put it down and I'll just reflect and be like, okay, that's done for now, and I can come back and it's just all different stories. So I'm hoping to get through that. I need to go to Dimmick this afternoon. I'm going to buy Spanion's book because he's my favorite person to watch online, and I could not imagine what his book would be like. So that's good. And I got a new That's What I Reckon book, but it's actually a cookbook. So I'm going to cook one of his recipes from this. And if I do that, I've counted it as I've read this book. So that's my goals for reading for the rest of the year. Oh, I've also got Shane Warne's book, which I had bought a couple of years ago and I still haven't finished. So hopefully I'm going to have some reading, and yeah, I'll get back to you next year about what I actually read.
Yeah, especially now that we're sort of going into the holiday period, you can actually spend a bit of time and chill out and read a book every now and then.
I start a new job on Thursday. I don't think there's going to be a lot of chilling out time for me. So maybe Christmas Day I can just read, set a drink. Yeah. I'll document how many pages I read of a book rather than how many drinks I drink. That's the TikTok for this year's Christmas.
Yep. Catch up with family, eat food, lay on the couch and read a book.
Yeah.
Sounds like a good time. Yeah, we failed pretty horribly at that. 12 books.
Yeah.
Like I said, I think I read 3 and I've just started the 4th one. I'm reading John Moxley's autobiography called Mox, and I'm about 1/3 of the way through so far. So, and it's sort of similar to the book you're reading, where each chapter is just like its own standalone story about a period in his life. So I'm really enjoying sort of that, not needing to read 3 or 4 chapters at a time to get a complete story. You just read one little chapter and you're good, or read a couple of chapters before bed and then go to sleep. which is nice.
Yeah. Fine.
Alrighty, that's everything. What is your top recommendation for the week?
Following me on TikTok. No, Red Notice. Red Notice, yeah. I think it was just great. If you got Netflix, which everyone does, it's just a good movie you can watch and not 100% pay attention to. Like, you still pay attention, but yeah, it's just an easy watch. Very funny. Very well put together.
Yeah, it's a perfect movie for this sort of crappy, rainy, gross weather.
Mm.
So yeah, not Eternals. You don't want to recommend Eternals?
Next question, please.
Fair enough. For me, it's South Park post-COVID. Like I said, it's just super timely with everything that's going on at the moment, and classic South Park fashion. It's very funny, and you'll laugh quite a bit. Definitely check that one out, especially since the second one is due in the next 3 weeks, so they might want to get cracking on that one.
Yeah, definitely.
But knowing them, they'll turn it around. It'll be out, probably be out tonight. Just suddenly it'll be on Paramount Plus. It wasn't there this morning. I checked this morning. It's not there this morning. But
okay,
who knows? By the time this episode actually releases, it'll probably be out.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Thank you everyone for listening to the commentary booth. If you enjoyed the show, please remember to rate, review, and subscribe on podcast services and YouTube. You can follow Jaxon on Instagram. No, not Instagram. TikTok. Jax_Carr. And you can follow me on social media at JamieUps Media and at Pario Magazine. The commentary booth is a fan-funded production of JamieUps Media. You can support the podcast alongside our magazine, Pario Magazine, on Patreon at patreon.com/JamieUps Media. The following people supported at the community support group level or higher, and you cannot fathom how incredibly appreciative we are for their support. Brian and June Hart, Blake Robinson, Courtney Paulson, Jaxon Carr, and Tracy Up.